thanks and praises to Amlok, to God, to Jah, for that blessing in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Kedamawi Haile Selassie. Now, this the Ital Fiyya project. This Ital Fiyya project is we basically fighting for the fatherless, the widow, the poor, the oppressed, the sick, the elders, and the weak, those who cannot speak for themselves in this hour. There's a famine of truth out there right now. A lot of people not living the truth. A lot of people speaking it, but can't walk it. A lot of people has basically infiltrated the truth with their own perceptions and their own ideas, to benefit them and not benefit the movement. Myself as an artist, I know it's a huge responsibility. I have to watch everything that comes out of my mouth. I have to watch the way I walk, the way I talk, everything, because you are a reflection of the kingdom. Once Father bestow you with an instrument, or bestow you with vocals, or bestow you with the pen of iron and diamond point, then you have to execute, strengthen yourself, so that way you don't make people go astray, or you don't lead people or chase people away that should be drawn into the movement. Prime example would be when I first came into the game in 2000. I was a fire burn type brethren. Yes, I tell fire burn. And it just be the anger that I was going through at that time. You know what I'm saying? Realizing that I've been lied to, my people has been lied to, the world has been lied to for all these years, and how can a simple-minded individual like myself find truth before the people that's been to these schools and universities? Because I sat down with preachers, I've been to synagogues and sat down with rabbis, I've been and talked to imams, in mosque. I search, because you search for Father. He says, seek ye the kingdom of the Almighty, and those that seek Him shall find Him. So I looked for Father all my life. I really did. From the times I took my Kalima Shahada and converted to Islam, and to the times of now, which I still do consider myself a brother of Islam, just like I'm a brother of Judaism, I'm a brother of the Buddhists, and a brother of all, because we all are one. This is why we say in Amarinya, Ahadu Amlak, one God, because we are one. Now, what separates us is the name in which we call upon, because it's crucial. Father has 72 attributes, 72 attributes of the Lord, but the last name that He comes in should be the final name. And that name shall have power over the heathen. Once ones who is expressing that name, liberty is in line with their chakras, their 7 chakras. Some would say them the 7 seals that His Majesty has loosened to enlighten mankind with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. See, this is why His Majesty, He advocated education very much, because they said he had a perfect memory. He knew any spiritual religious book that was ever printed by man, he knew by heart, which means that he would know of the prophecies of the things that will happen in the last days. So he teach and taught, and will continue to be teaching his children the direction and the path that they are to take. Because Jah will never let none of His children be put to shame, for it's written. So with this music, I'm understanding how Babylon is fighting against reggae. Reggae is at a standstill. True, I know. A lot of dancehall, a lot of people's perceiving dancehall to be reggae, when reggae really means music to the king. If you break down on the Latin terms of reggae, you will find out that this is music that is sacred. So you can't be singing about fleshly things, lower chakra things, lower frequency things, and be singing for the kingdom of the king, because you're dealing with higher heights, you're dealing with a higher liberty, you're dealing with a higher kingdom, an eternal kingdom, the most powerful kingdom of all kingdoms. So what Russ has to really do is be careful about what they say and what they speak, because they don't want to, you don't want to chase, me, just myself included, I don't want to chase nobody away from the movement, chase nobody away from His Majesty, because they're under the assumption that I'm in prejudice, or they're under the assumption that I'm in fire burn, or they're under the assumption that I'm in a womanizer, or they're under the assumption that, Rasta, doing things that they ain't supposed to be doing. We want to set the record straight, and that's what His Imperial Majesty is going to do with this Ital Fiyya project. And we're going to set the record straight, even to the point where we say the name right. Because if you go to some Ethiopians and you say Rastafari, they're not going to feel you. But if you say Rastafari or Rastafari, they overstand. The enunciation is important. How can we call upon the name if we don't know how to enunciate it right? We're not saying it right. Even the saying the Haile Selassie in Amarinya, it don't work like that. It works as the first Kadamawi, the first Haile power or might Selassie of the Trinity. So it's the first might of power. It's not the might and power first. The might of Selassie, the might of the Trinity first. No, it's the first power of the Trinity, the first might of the Trinity. And what's the first might of the Trinity? Because the Trinity always moves in three. Can never be separated. They always move in three. One can't exist without the other. The first might of the Trinity is Abba, the Father. So this is the realness that we're dealing with. His Majesty is the Almighty. He is the one who humbled himself to come back and pass through the earth to gather up the remnant of his seed, because he had to go down into Hades to release Enoch, Adam, Elijah, Eva, Deborah, all of them. He had to release in the 12 tribes and pass through earth and then ascend up into Zion eternally, because they said, remember, he's building a kingdom that shall never be diminished or destroyed. So this Mengish Amarinya for kingdom is something that's going to live eternally, spiritually. And people have to really understand that His Majesty is alive and living. And triple crown that he wore on his head represent he conquered heaven, he conquered hell, and he conquered earth. That's that triple crown. And he did it all by faith. This is why we see the cross on top of the crown, by the faith. Like His Majesty said, His Majesty in Ethiopia is not only a Christian country, but they're actively Christian. And that's what the move that we want to go to. I want to go actively Rastafari, actively Christian. Because in essence, I'm a man's a Christian. His Majesty is a Christian, I'm man's a Christian. And Demenachu, my brethren and sister, greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Kedamawi Haile Selassie, Rastafari, Jesus Christos, Ahadu Amlak. Amen. Yes, blessed love, brothers and sisters. This is Priest here, just giving thanks and praises to Father for another day as we just transcend into the higher heights and higher liberty of His Imperial Majesty in the Kingdom of Ethiopia. I just want to just give y'all a little bit of information about Amen. Amen is a reggae singer, songwriter, and producer. Go by the moniker of Ital Fiyya. I came into reggae music after sighting His Majesty. I found His Majesty first. My life was almost lost, and His Majesty come and save Amen by revealing Himself to Amen. After I had done my research and solidified within myself that Haile Selassie is and was the man of the Bible that the scriptures was talking about, the great king that should come and sit on David's throne, I got the blessing of the inheritance of music, which is something I never knew I would have in these hours and these times. So I truly give